Listen, all, please keep your questions. I will have to otherwise put you on to mute, and I'll take all your questions after the speaker session is over. Okay. Right. I have my awesome speaker today, and let me put him on spotlight. Professor Ismail Akbani, if you can switch on your camera, I'll put a spotlight. We have 100+ school students waiting to listen from you.
Yeah, am I audible, visible?
Yeah, I'm just putting you on spotlight, then it's easier. Great. So you have got some funny, very nice, stuff that Zoom always tells us to have. I will also wear something. I can't let you live with that. Okay. So, boys and girls, can I request everyone to switch on your cameras? You can see that we have got a great person, and the greatness of the person lies in the fun that he brings to the party, right? Professor Ismail Akbani, he is the CEO of Atal Incubation Center at Mahindra University in Hyderabad, and he's going to be talking, demystifying entrepreneurship, what it means, and what young students like you can do. Dr. Ismail, these are very talented, bright young school students. I'm very sorry I put them all on mute, but for the purpose of managing the thing. And all students, if you have any questions, you will raise your hand. First, you have to put your question in the chat box, maintain discipline, and then I'll give you opportunity, right? Over to you, Dr. Ismail. And I'll put my nice stuff of what you have done.
Thank you so much. I was actually a bit skeptical about taking a session on entrepreneurship at 7 in the evening, but seeing that we have got 170 approximately young students over here on the call, now I feel that was
there are 200 cross ho raha hai.
Yeah, because now I feel that it was the right call to accept it, even if it's 7 p.m. Because usually when we do with the students from higher university or postgraduate level, they are so occupied the entire day. By the end of the day, if you talk to them, they are like, okay, just let us go back home. But I can see here in this audience. But as you can see, I am not a typical person that you would expect to come on a talk like this, right? And I don't expect a typical response as well. So are you guys with me? I know you guys have been muted, but chat box is still open, right? So before we begin, I want to see the energy.
Can you show your thumbs? Everyone, all the virtual thumbs, virtual emojis, you can put it.
As well. Two things we're going to do. One is those of you are on a laptop or a computer or desktop, and if you know how to use a filter or something like this, what I'm doing right now, or what Sanjeeva sir is doing right now with the specs, if you know how to do that, take a minute, go to those filter thing and put up something crazy. Doesn't matter what it is, right? You could become a gangster, you could become a pirate, you could have long hairs, right? Everything is allowed here. Yeah, I can see some kids doing that. Interesting. Abhishek has done it. Interesting. Thank you so much. Who else? Okay. Yeah. Different people. Everybody. Yo, I can see a cat also. Interesting. Right? Yeah. So everybody should be, uh, having something over there. Cool. And then you also make sure that you take a screenshot of this session with you having that. See, your mentor over here, Sanjeev, is trying so many amazing things over here, and that's the spirit you should have, right? He's not scared, he's not afraid, he's not ashamed of trying all those things. You should not be either, right? Your kids. And make sure that you take a nice screenshot of you in the session with that filter over there, and then put it wherever you want to on your social media, on your Instagram, Twitter, if you guys are there. If you're on LinkedIn, I don't know if you are.
No, they're all doing amazing stuff. I haven't briefed you
Yes.
much, but they're all doing phenomenal stuff.
Right. So this is step number one for any good entrepreneur, right? You should be able to go out there and showcase to the world whatever crazy stuff you're doing without bothering what the world will think, without thinking what people will talk about me, right? If you enjoy it, if you're loving it, you go ahead, you do it. Forget what the world is doing, right? Interesting. That was number one. Thank you so much. A lot of you have done it.
Can I just intervene for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all students who have your interviews You manage your time. When the time comes, you can exit this call, attend the interview, come back here, right? So don't screw up your interviews because of that you are here. Otherwise, you will not get chance. Okay. Over to you,
Good,
Dr.
good,
Smile.
good, good. So thank you so much, all those of you who are following me on this journey, this crazy journey. And I cannot see all of you on the screen here because there's a limited number of people I can see on one screen. Now, the number two, task number two over here, what I want to do you to do is in the chat box. Typically, when when you meet somebody, we say good afternoon, good morning, good evening, right? So I want you guys to welcome me, but not with a good evening or hello or hi, right? We're talking about entrepreneurship innovation. One word, some word to show that you are here, you are excited, right? Write something in the chat box. It should not be the boring good morning, hello sir, hi sir, how are you, good evening, namaste. No, something crazy, right? Some crazy word. What you could use whatever language you want to, right? And just in the chat box, let the energy come into the chat box. Yes, come on. Okay, what's up, bro? Yes, good, good, good. Fire. Okay, very good. Boys, was it supposed to be boys? Okay, we're winning. Now the chat box is flooding. The chat box will flood so much that the Zoom server should go crashing and they should come back. What's happening here in India at this time in the evening? Interesting, great. Some of you, I have not said, some of you are by mistake sending the message only to me. Make sure that your chat setting is set to send to everyone, not just the host. Otherwise, it comes only to me. But yeah, so many interesting. Good. Somebody's talking about money. Cool. Okay. Somebody's talking about Sigma people. Oh, uh-huh. Interesting. Cool. You're feeling the energy and fire already. We're yet to start, guys. We're just to start. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneurship starts with E, and there are some other words that start with E that are very, very essential on your entrepreneur journey. One is energy, one is enthusiasm, one is excitement, right? So all these three E's, they come together, they become the foundation for entrepreneurship. Money is good. Yes, money is good depending on how you use it. But yes, somebody wants paisa. Interesting. Great. Dhoom Machale. Somebody talked about my favorite movie over here. I'll have to go back and watch it again after this session now. Okay. So are we ready to start? Yeah. Because how much time do I have, sir?
About 25 minutes.
Okay, cool. A
Yeah.
tough job. Feels like I'm on a TED Talk version 2.0, but still I'll try my best. Right. And yeah, so let's go to the presentation quickly. I'm going to make a very small presentation for you guys. Where is that? Where is my, yeah. Okay, I hope the slides are visible.
Yes.
Good. So we're going to talk about two things, mostly focus about entrepreneurship and a bit about incubation because I come from the incubation background. So I'll talk a bit about that as well. Right. But before we go ahead, they say it's very important, before you can digest a message, accept a message, understand it's very important to understand the messenger who is bringing the message. Otherwise, the message has no meaning, right? Just a 30 seconds recap. I've been into the entrepreneurship innovation ecosystem for more than a decade now. I was earlier with Symbiosis University, Pune. I headed entrepreneurship initiatives over there. I've been across the country, length and breadth of the country, from the north to the south, to the east to the west, and as a speaker, panelist, jury mentor across some of the best IITs and some of the best B schools, government initiatives, ministries, and all those things. And but I usually say when they introduce me with a lot of things, and do have a very good profile about me, saying what qualifies me to talk about entrepreneurship. But I think at the end of the day, there is one qualification, one single qualification that kind of clouds every other thing that I've done, and that I think is the most important qualification that I have, that I'm a good Juba blood, right? And if you guys have seen that movie Rais, Shah Rukh Khan's movie Rais, there's a dialogue where he says Gujarat ki to hawa mein vyapar hai sahib. So I think that's the single most qualification that entitles me to talk about entrepreneurship apart from anything else that I might have done in my small life so far, right? But let's quickly jump into the thing, all right? And again, I want you guys to answer in the chat box. I want this to be a lively session, not a one big monologue, right? So of course, you guys are what, class 8, 9, 10 students or beyond that, sir?
Till 12th.
10th, okay. So soon you
Yeah.
will be entering some college. You choose a career path, right? You choose some graduation stream, whatever you do. You'll do engineering, you'll do BBA, you might do science, physics, chemistry, mathematics, law, hotel management, whatever you think, right? But what happens after graduation? Come on, in the chat box, let me know. What happens in the chat after once you're done with the graduation, and let's say you're done graduation in your favorite stream from your favorite college, you graduated 3 years, 4 years down the line, you graduated. Now what next? Right? Job, internship, right? Okay. Start a business. Okay. Race, stars, dream beyond. Okay. Criminal lawyer, interesting. Marriage, good, good. Okay, interesting. MIT, wow, higher education, IIT. Okay, I love it. Good. After 12th, okay, you'll age AI. मजे ही मजे, somebody saying. मजे तो अभी है प्यारे तुम्हारे. Right? These are the last 3 years of मजे that you have. Interesting. So I have my own thought process of thinking, what you'll do, One is all those you said will take up a job and something. At the end of the day, what you're saying is you'll work for somebody else's business. Simply put, right? No matter what job you took up. So either after graduation, you do your engineering, you do your management, BBA, whatever, and you take up a job, right? Or an internship. So one way is that you go and work for somebody else's business. The other option is, I don't know why this is not okay. You work for yourself or family business, right? Some of you said will become entrepreneurs, multi-millionaires, family business and all. So either you'll go work in some company that is somebody else's business, or you will start your own business. Hopefully, most of you will do that since you're part of this amazing initiative, right? Or you will go join a family business if it does exist, right? Now, this is third category that exists. That says, no, sir, I will not do work for somebody else. I'll not go work for family business. I'll go for higher education. So I'll even do masters. I'll probably do PhD. But the question is, what after higher education? Again, at the end, you'll do PhD, you'll do postdoc, but at the end, again, you'll go end up working for somebody else's business, or you'll work for your own business or family business. So the point here is, no matter what you do in life, right? Whatever you study, whatever qualifications you get, at the end of the day, and that's a very important statement that I make to my students. Do what you may, your bread and butter will come from some business. Do we agree with this? All of you with me on this? No matter what you do in life, but your bread and butter is coming from some business, either through salary that some business is making or your own business, right? Now, I was doing this with a smart bunch of economic students at Symbiosis a few years ago. And a kid student said, no, sir, you're wrong. I said, how come? He said, no, I'm going to work in the NGO. So my salary is not going to come from a business. I'll work for an NGO, for a not-profit organization. I said, fine. Where does the NGO get the money? I said, CSR, that's corporate social responsibility. I said, who gives CSR? They said, business. I said, there you have it. Right? And the other smart fellow in the same class, who student said, no, sir, but I will still not get my money from business. I said, how come? He said, I'm preparing for UPSC, MPSC. I'm going to go work for the government. So you see, I'll be in a government job, but my money, my bread and butter is not going to come from business. I said, where does the government pay you salary from? It says taxes. I said, who pays the major chunk of taxes in the country? Right? Businesses. Right? And they say, no, sir, individuals also pay tax. I'm fine, but where do these individuals pay taxes from? From their salary. So ultimately, no matter what you do, right? Whatever bread and butter that you have on your table right now, no matter what your father does, it's coming from some business. And if that is what the case is, doesn't it make a logical case for us, all of us, irrespective of what our future plans is? You want to become a scientist, you want to become a nutritionist, you want to become a gym trainer, you want to become a doctor, you want to become a lawyer, no matter what you want to become a philanthropist, no matter what you want to become, doesn't it make logical sense for us to understand some basics about how a business works, what a business is, how it is started, right? And that is why initiatives like this are so important. A lot of time people come and tell me, sir, I never want to start a business. Why should I talk about entrepreneurship? I'm like, even if you are not running your business, you need somebody else to run a business so that they can pay you the salary. And you need to understand that. Is it making sense? Cool.
Yes.
The next $1 million question is, who is an entrepreneur? Right? And there's a lot of debate happening, confusion happening between people. And what is the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman? Yeah, you have somebody called a businessman, and then for years we had business. The term business was existing. We used to call people as businessmen, right? And suddenly, past 10, 15 years, we have started calling people as entrepreneurs. And nobody wants to call themselves a businessman. I remember when I was a kid, and when people would ask what your father does, we would say, "Oh, my father is a businessman." Now, if you ask somebody what your father does, nobody says my father is a businessman. My father is an entrepreneur, right? Because it sounds cool. But is it the same? Or is there a difference, right? And just again, we don't have time, so I'm going to just, this next slide is going to make it all clear. The slide I have borrowed from one of my good friends, actually, Arjun Panchal, who does it. But this slide explains it very beautifully. The difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur.
Priyanshu Pranjal, students, please maintain discipline when you're writing.
Yeah. Whatever,
Daksh Gaikwad.
whatever you put in the chat box, please ensure that we are in a session to learn over here. So whatever you put over there actually reflects the kind of mindset you are coming from. And we don't want people to start seeing your mindset naked over here in the chat box, right? So please.
Absolutely. Or I'll have to remove you from the session.
Yeah. Right? So now you have to decide what kind of mentality do you want. Tomorrow you become a great, when you are in the 20s, 30s, Do you want to have mindset of a businessman? Do you want to have mindset of an entrepreneur? And the next question is, even if you want to go work for a company, if a company is hiring and there are two people sitting in the interview, right? Everything is same technical skills, same domain expertise, same knowledge, same experience, everything same degree from the same college with the same percentage. But one of them has a mindset of a typical normal conventional business person. The other comes with the entrepreneur mindset. Who do you get selected? Think get selected, right? And the answer is obvious. And that exactly is what we're trying to do here, right? So throughout this sessions, whatever you're going to through, irrespective of what your end goal is, the on earnest, humble appeal is that take everything with that sincerity that whatever you're going to discuss, not only this session, but there would be a lot of other sessions I've been told on the as a part of this entire initiative. Everything is going to add value to your life, irrespective of what you want to do. Making sense? Are you with me? Right? I'm rushing a little fast. Usually, I spend a lot of time on each of the slides, but I have been given the task to do a TEDx
I'm
talk.
very sorry. You can take a
That's
few
fine.
minutes more.
So now one is an entrepreneur and the other is entrepreneur mindset. If you've seen one of the news articles I shared earlier, where I intentionally shared it, not just to talk about me, but there's a news guy where this one I put somewhere. This is 2017 or 18. I was doing a session for IIT Kharagpur. And at the end, there was a news press conference and a lot of reporters moving around, and they were talking to all the panelists over there. And then one of the reporters came to me and he started talking about us. And I casually said this that to me, entrepreneurship is a mindset. He found that so cool that next day when he used that as a title of that news, right? So when I talk about entrepreneurship for me is not just about starting business. It's about a mindset, right? And with that mindset, you could be anywhere. You could be an employee, you could be a teacher, doctor, you could be a homemaker, you could be a philanthropist. But if you have that mindset, you will end up succeeding much, in a much faster accelerated way and reach the heights of success in a much more you could say rewarding manner than a lot of your peers. So how do you develop entrepreneur mindset, right? And again, we go quickly over there. There are a lot of things people can talk about that this is what constitutes entrepreneur mindset. Typically, if you go to research, there are 13 key traits people have identified, but when I talk to students, I see that these are the six core essential elements that I'm going to share with you, which if you start imbibing in you, if you start absorbing, will end up making you a little bit more entrepreneurial. They may not make you entrepreneur in a day or a month or a year, but the journey will start, right? And these are the six words. So the first is being curious and observant, right? How curious we are, how observant we are about a lot of things happening around us, but we usually don't even look at it. If I just ask you right now, if you have stair in your college, office, home, wherever, and if you climb through the stairs, if I ask you how many steps are there in the stair, how many of you can answer? And you climb those stairs, I mean, God knows how many times. But how many of you can answer that there are exactly 12 steps in the stair, right? Rarely. If I just ask you how many buttons are there in your elevator, again, not everybody can answer because we are not so observant. So whatever you do around you, be always curious about things. As kids, and you guys are in that age probably, when we grow up, we stop asking the question why. But kids are so curious. They have to ask questions about everything. Why is Doraemon like this? And why is Nobita like this? And why the television is only this shape, right? That curiosity is one of the very important traits of an entrepreneur. Second, entrepreneurs are moderate,
Himanshu Haldwal, I'll have to remove you.
right? Uh, Entrepreneurs are moderate risk takers. We have this misconceptions that entrepreneurs are heavy risk takers. No, right? They are not. They are not gamblers. They don't just do something and stay on luck. Entrepreneur, when I say moderate risk taker or calculated risk taker, they do take risk, but they take risk in a situation where they feel there are certain elements they can control, right? Again, a lot of discussion can happen on that. Third is very important. They're always ready to experiment, right? And experiment by definition for me is an activity where the chances of failure and success are 50-50, right? A lot of time we say I'm doing an experiment, but we expect ourselves to succeed all the time. If you expect that every time the outcome of the activity should be positive, successful, then that's not an experiment. Experiment by its nature is something that I don't know how it will turn out. So when I say that I'm doing an experiment, what I'm doing essentially is I'm announcing to the world that, hey, world out there, I'm doing an experiment. Please expect me to fail. So if I'm starting that with that mindset, then if I fail, it doesn't push me back. I don't get disheartened. I don't get depressed. I actually turn back, okay, that was an experiment. I knew that there's 50% chance it's going to fail. Let me try again. Let me change one more variable. Let me try something different. Right? So that's a very, very important trait of an entrepreneur, right? And the next one is again important as high tolerance to ambiguity. Ambiguity is like uncertainty, lack of clarity, right? So if I ask you right now, quickly, right, that I need a volunteer to do a task. I want to give you a task right now, and I need a volunteer. How many of you are interested?
Please raise your virtual hand and
Yeah, please raise your virtual hand. How many of you
okay,
will be interested? right? This is some activity, and it could be a risky activity also,
Okay.
right? So you see how many of you raised your hand. I cannot see the total number, but I'm sure that at the max, 50% of you would have raised your hand.
Many
Not
hands are raised.
yeah, a lot of hands are there. And this number goes down. If I do the same with graduate students, out of 100, only 10 will raise their hand, or 5 will raise their hand because they are worried. Okay, what sir is going to ask us? What if he asks us to come in front of the class and
Okay.
make?
Can we choose Salik Riaz, Elisha Patel, and Satvik Vedant? Three.
No, we are not choosing anybody here. I'm just asking. So I
Okay.
was thinking, yeah, we're
Yeah.
not because I don't have time for activity.
Got
But
it. Got
I
it.
just wanted to make a point here that with the age, this number goes down. Right now, when I asked you that I know I want you to volunteer, there are still some of you who may not have raised your hands. Right? Others raise their hand without knowing what the task was, without knowing what I'm going to ask you. Right? That is your comfort with ambiguity. Okay, we don't know what exactly is going to happen, but okay, volunteering sir is asking, now let me, what will he say? Right? He's not going to ask me to go and jump from the balcony. All right. Or he's not going to ask me to transfer one Bitcoin. So, okay, I'll go and do, right? Same way, that's a very important trait of entrepreneur. When the entrepreneur jumps, is doing something, they don't know everything with clarity. They don't know how things will unfold, how the market will respond to the product, how many people will buy it. But they are okay with that uncertainty, and they still go ahead, right? While there are some people, when I do this activity offline, when I say that I want no want to volunteer, there are some kids who say, "Sir, I would raise my hand, but can you please tell me what the activity is?" No, and what will I have to do and how much time it will take? Now, these are the people who are not comfortable with ambiguity. They want a clarity on everything right in the beginning. Now, entrepreneurship doesn't work that way, right? You cannot have 100% clarity of everything in the beginning. So, if you are not comfortable with that lack of clarity, it becomes difficult for you to be an entrepreneur, right? So, as an entrepreneur, you have to be tolerant to ambiguity. And then, of course, your focus has to be on outcomes and not the task. Very important thing, right? And if I can finish on this one slide, I think that I would have done my job. A lot of time we confuse task with outcome, right? Outcome is the end result we are wanting. So very interesting story I usually share over here, that in a jungle once, you know, some of the animals started this unrest that, what is this? Every time the king is the lion is the king of jungle. Why is it so that always the lion will be the king of jungle? Why can't the other animals be the kings of jungle, right? And they all went to the lion and said, no, this will not work. Now we want democracy and all, and we will not accept you as the king. We will select our king through democracy. The lion said, okay, fine, you guys decide. So there was election declared, and they said anybody who wants to compete for being a king of the jungle can nominate themselves for the election. And everybody, a lot of animals nominated. And even the monkey nominated himself for being the king of the jungle. And then the elections happened, and monkey was friends with everybody. Monkey used to, pluck fruits from the trees and give to people, and people were happy that he's giving us so many fruits and everything. So monkey ended up winning the election because a lot of people voted for him. And so they said, "No, monkey is our king." The lion said, "Fine." He accepted. He went to his cave and started resting there. Now, just a few days after the monkey became the king, one of the goats in the jungle went missing. All the other animals were were worried that our friend goat is missing. They tried to find the goat, could not find. Then they went to the lion because they were used to go to the lion. He was the king for everything. They were used to go to the lion. They went to the lion and said, "Hey, lion, can you save? Can you help us? Our friend goat is missing." The lion said, "Why do you come? Why did you come to me? I'm not the king anymore. Go to your king, the monkey. He will help you out." And they said, "Okay, fine." They went to the monkey and I say, "Monkey, monkey, you are our new king. Please help us find our friend goat." The monkey said, "No problem. I'll find it out." Right? And what the monkey did, monkey started jumping from one tree to another tree within that perimeter, one fixed perimeter of a few 50 meters or something. He started jumping from just one tree to another tree, one tree to another tree, and the entire day he jumped, but he could not find the goat. And he came very tired, sweating, and said, "Sorry, I tried a lot, I could not find, but no, don't worry, I'll find the goat tomorrow. You guys can go back home." And it worked like that for 8 days. Every day the people would go say, "Please find our goat," and the monkey would just jump from this tree to that tree to this tree, but he would just be in that vicinity, only in that area. When these people got very angry, say, we were wrong to make you the king and all. You are not helping us find our friend." The monkey got very angry and said, "What are you talking about? Don't talk about the goat and all. But you have seen me put effort. 7 days I've been jumping all the trees. So if there is any shortage or any shortcoming in the efforts from my side, you tell me. But if I'm not finding the goat, what do I do?" Right? The point here is that does that make a difference? You jump from one tree to another tree for 100 days. But if the monkey is not going beyond that perimeter, is he ever going to find the goat? Right? So his goal was not to jump from one tree to another tree. That was a task. The goal was to find the goat. So a lot of time we end up doing that. When an assignment is given to you, sometimes we end up doing the assignment just for the sake of doing it without understanding what the outcome is. So entrepreneurs are always focused on the outcome, not on the task. Wow, they don't think only I have to just do this job, I'll finish it. They say, what is the outcome I expect out of this? And I'll focus on that. The last one, that entrepreneurs usually get disturbed with problems around. So with disturbed, I don't mean to say that they get very angry and they keep complaining about it, but when they see a problem around themselves, they are the first one to see, okay, there's a problem in my society, in my city, in my colony, in my country. Whoever was supposed to do something about it, they may have done it, they may not have done it. I don't care. What is something that I can do? There's a problem in the fan in my house. My father is supposed to repair it. He's not able to do it for whatever reason. Rather than just complaining about my father not doing it, can I do something about it? That's the entrepreneur attitude. And that's where it starts. I normally say any school you go, in out of 50, 120 classrooms that you have, there will always be one classroom which will have one fan that's making a lot of noise. In one classroom, there will always be one fan that's making some sound. And everybody's getting disturbed. Nobody cares to look at it. And all that it takes is for somebody to get on a table or stool, just lift that cap over there. There's some wire that is usually that is coming in the way. You just have to move the wire. There's no technology, no technical knowledge required. Just push that wire inside and put the cap back in. The sound will go. But nobody ever tries. People spend the entire year sitting in that classroom, getting disturbed by that sound, but nobody takes that initiative that, okay, let me see what I can do. Everybody's just complaining about the electric department of the school that they are not doing anything, right? So that's the mindset. Those are the six keys about the entrepreneur mindset. Now, why are we talking about entrepreneurship, especially in the past 10, 15 years? Is because the startup ecosystem globally and in India is thriving like anything. Currently, India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, right? After USA and China. We have 140,000 startups that were registered by DPIIT, which is a unit of government of India. This is the data till 30th June. So in the past 2 months, the number should have increased. And this is just the number of officially registered startups. They say for every startup that registers, there are 2 or 3 startups that are not registered. So probably there are additional 342,000 startups that are not registered. That's the estimate. And we have 110 plus unicorns. The number to be specific is 116 as of now, as we speak. A unicorn is a startup whose valuation is 8,395 crores. That's the valuation. Out of this, 43 unicorns were created in the year 2021, and around 18 to 20 were created in the year 2020. That means this unicorn started somewhere in 2019 and 2020 in the middle of the pandemic, while most of us are busy sharing memes of dalgona coffee and baking cookies at our home, right? There were guys out there in the country who were making billion-dollar businesses in the middle of pandemic where people felt it was difficult to survive, right? So I don't see any more inspiring and motivational story about a startup ecosystem than this number can show us, right? And again, this I'm going to skip part of this. Let's okay. Now, having said that, are you with me so far?
Show of thumbs if
Yeah.
you
Are you with me so far? Cool. So
virtual
now we talk about the
thumbs.
second element of my talk. 5 minutes I'll take on the incubation ecosystem because I think that's also important. So what is an incubator? Right. So you see a flower over here. That flower is what used to be as a part of a sapling outside my office. Now it withered away. We had to throw it out. But I got it as a gift when I was going I went as a guest speaker to one of the colleges here in Hyderabad, and no, as a token they gifted me the flower sapling. I brought it, kept outside my office, and we were watering it every day. But despite our best intention, it withered away. Did not blossom. And it died. No, why did it die? Why did that flower die? Right? Now, and if I ask you, you'll give some reasons. You did not water it properly. There was no sunlight. It did not get the nutrients, right? But we did water it, but we did not water it at the right time in the right quantity. You put a little more water, it dies. You put less water, it dies. You give more sunlight, it goes away, it dies. You give it less sunlight, the flower dies, right? So for a flower to blossom, there are so many things that have to come together at the right time in the right proportion, right? For the flowers to blossom and survive
The
and thrive.
pot was small.
Yeah. So same way, your startup ideas, your innovation ideas are like flowers, right? And they need a lot of those support. If those that is not provided, now who would have been a better person to ensure that the flower does not die? A gardener, because a gardener knows which plant requires how much water at what time in the morning or night, what is the right amount of water, what is the right amount of fertilizer, what is the right amount of sunlight that the plant requires, and a gardener would have made sure that the flower blossoms and thrives, right? Same way with the startup ideas, also you need a gardener by your side. And in the startup world, we call those gardeners as mentors. That's very, very important, right? And incubation is nothing but or institutional mentor available for you that provides support in a lot of to help you take your idea from a very nascent stage to advanced stage, right? So what does a startup idea need in the beginning when you are early stage? You need some office space, maybe you need some financial support, you need a mentor to help you with the technology part, you need a mentor to help you with the business part, you need somebody to help you with, if you go a little ahead, you need somebody to help you protect your IPR, intellectual property. I'm sure they will talk about that someday. You need somebody to help you with the legal aspects. You need somebody to help you understand how the business works. You also need somebody just to be there to provide you emotional and moral support on a day when you're feeling very low. Somebody who can just listen to you and say, hey, it's fine. It's a part of the journey of an entrepreneur, right? Tomorrow you'll be stronger. We'll come back at it tomorrow. Somebody like that, just right. An incubator provides you just all that services. So it's an organization that helps you with all those things, right? And typically, most of the incubators, even the one I work with, are funded by the government. So they don't charge you a lot. Even if they charge, some of them do a lot of things for free. There are incubators that do virtual programs, they do physical programs. So a lot of those things are available. I'm not going to go into the details of all those things here, right? And I think I'll just quickly brief about what our incubator is. So I come from an incubator called AIC Mahindra EA Foundation. It's a part of Mahindra University over here in Hyderabad. Mahindra University is the university established by Mahindra and Mahindra Group. We are practically based in the Tech Mahindra campus over here with Mr. Anand Mahindra as the chancellor. And the incubator is supported by one of the government scheme called Atal Innovation Mission. And again, I don't want to go into details. This is not a sales pitch over here. But typically, to just give you an idea, this is a typical infrastructure, how an incubator would look. You will have laboratories, prototyping stuff, where you will have 3D printers, laser cutters, stuff like that, where you can make your prototypes. You will have some office space, you will have some mentors coming in, and a lot of other guidance will come in, right? So if you go to on internet and check about incubators, you'll find that. And with that, I'm done. That's the last slide.
Okay.
Any questions we can take?
I'm looking at some relevant question. There are some, very vague question. Okay. In your opinion, in your significant. Okay. So I will take your presentation, Professor Ismail, and I'll share with the
No problem.
students,
No problem.
right?
That's what I
So
should.
that's there. This is also on YouTube. Some of you asked the recording, so it's on YouTube. So you can go and search it on YouTube. Uh, there's one good question I think you can take. What is the best way to commercialize any idea?
Okay. So again, there's no one best way, because it's something called, we call it go-to-market strategy and all. Every idea requires a different way to commercialize, right? But I think the best way, if you get commercializing any idea, would be commercializable only if the customers want it, right? So the short answer would be that right from the beginning, day one, the focus has to be on the customer. Who would we want it? Why would they want it? And why would they want it above any of the competitors? If those three things are taken care of, I think the rest of the commercial aspect, how do you go to market, and there are a lot of things to talk about, product placement and stuff like that, MBA jargon, those things can be taken care of. They are more of mechanical algorithmic stuff. But at the end of the day, there has to be somebody who wants to use your product really badly and who's willing to pay for it. Those two things are taken care of, I think the rest will fall in place slowly.
Great. So, Professor Ismail, we'll have one more session with you in time to come with more notice and everything. Because they are kids, they have something to do. I need to
Yeah,
take about
no
15
problem.
minutes from them.
No
And
problem.
with this, we call an end to the
Yeah.
session,
Yeah.
right?
You can quickly take a screenshot with all these amazing faces over here.
Yeah, I've taken a few and I will take more.
Okay. So all these faces are going on my LinkedIn now.
Fantastic.
Interesting. Thank you so much. I really I'm glad to talk. I usually talk to people who are 20 plus, 25 plus. So it's fun to talk to kids your age over here. I'm glad, and I wish you all the best. I wish all the best to this initiative as well. And I hope that a lot of good entrepreneurs come out of this.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Ismail. And thanks very much for all the lovely insight stories about building entrepreneurship mindset and what incubators do. We are sure we'll have some meaningful relationships. Students, you'll have to stop sharing the whiteboards. Is this? Pahum Bhusar. Okay, so Dr. Ismail, you can leave the
Okay.
meeting. I'll spend about 15 minutes with the kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So listen.